Hello everyone, welcome to Champions Chemistry channel. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the difference between the standard state and reference state, which is explained with examples. So let us go to the topic. First, we'll talk about the standard state. So if you look into the definition, the standard state of a substance is a pure substance at exactly 1 bar pressure. So here you have to focus on this, two important words present. So the substance should be present in the pure state and the pressure should be 1 bar pressure. So these two are the important words in this definition. And we denote the standard state value by the superscript. We pronounce it as naught on the symbol for the property. So just I will give an example for that. For example, if you are going to see molar enthalpy of a substance. So when you talk about molar enthalpy of a substance, so I'm going to write it like HM in the superscript, I write 5. That means that I'm going to talk about the standard molar enthalpy of the substance. Standard molar enthalpy of that substance. In the same way, when I mention the pressure in the superscript, the symbol, that means I'm going to talk about the standard pressure. So that is obviously 1 bar. So this is the meaning of the word standard state. So once again, standard state means the pure substance which is maintained at 1 bar pressure. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Examples is given here. Standard state of hydrogen gas means the pure hydrogen gas taken at 1 bar pressure. And standard state of solid calcium carbonate means the pure solid at 1 bar pressure with either the calcite or aragonite form specified. So what is the meaning of this one? If you carefully examine, here I mentioned that hydrogen is present in the gaseous state. And now here I'm mentioning that this calcium carbonate I'm going to take in this solid state. So why I'm mentioning this physical state for sure, I will tell you shortly. So what is the standard state of a solid calcium carbonate? So you are taking a pure solid provided the pressure is 1 bar, and if more than one phase is available for that solid, then you have to mention in which phase you are reporting. So for calcium carbonate, here two different phases are available, that is calcite and aragonite. So which you are talking about, it must be specified. Okay. So here is the point. The physical states needs to be specified because we can speak of the standard states of the solids, liquids, and the vapor forms of a substance. Interesting. So if you are talking about the H2O, you can talk about H2O in the solid state, in a liquid state, or in the vapor state. So for any substance, you can express the standard state in either of the three forms. That is the point. And next, yeah, here is a major misconception which is incorporated in so many books. That is, they used to mention that the temperature should be 25 degrees Celsius, that is 298.15 Kelvin. But actually, temperature is not a part of the definition of the standard state. So it is not part of the definition. And standard states may refer to any temperature. Means at any temperature, you can express the standard state for any substance. but it should be specified. But at which temperature you are going to report, that if you mention, that is enough. So most of the books they used to write, so standard state must be reported at 298.15 Kelvin only. No, standard state can be reported at any temperature, but it has to be mentioned where you are reporting it. Thus, it is possible to speak of the standard state of water vapor at 100 Kelvin, 273.15 Kelvin, or any other temperature also. So you may ask, sir, how the water vapor exists at 100 Kelvin? So that point I will give clarity in the next slide. So as I know, you just to see this, it is possible to speak of the standard state of water vapor at any temperature. Just two example temperatures I mentioned here. Okay. So yeah, here is the point. Even though it can be reported at any temperature, as a part of conventional standards, it is usually reported at a conventional temperature of 298.15 Kelvin. So it is not mandatory to represent at this temperature, but it is conventional to represent at 25 degrees Celsius. Nothing other than that. Okay. So temperature is not part of the definition of standard state. It can be reported at any temperature. Yeah. Look into this point. The standard state of water vapor at 25 degrees Celsius. So here I'm going to talk about water vapor at 25 degrees Celsius. So just think of it at 25 degrees Celsius. Do the water vapor exist? In fact, no. What happens if you take the water vapor at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure, that at this temperature and pressure, it immediately condenses. It immediately condenses to liquid state. That means the water vapor is not stable at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure, but still you are able to report the standard state of a vapor at a 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure. That means what it is revealing is finally, you no need to bother about the stability of that substance. So that is what the point here is. Finally, a standard state need not to be a stable state. So this is a very, very important point. So the standard state need not to be a stable state. It may be stable or it may not be stable, and it need not to be realizable in practice. Means whether at the temperature and pressure that substance can be existing in practice or not, that also we need not to think about. Okay, so this is about the standard state. So the final inference about the standard state I'm giving here. Point number one, it is expressed for any substance. Of course, for any substance, here I mean to say this substance should be in pure condition. This substance should be in pure condition. And the physical state must be specified, whether you are expressing for the substance in the solid state or in the liquid state or in the vapor state or in any, if solid is exhibiting different phases, in which phase it is being expressed, that you have to mention. And the pressure must be 1 bar. Only at 1 bar pressure you are supposed to report. And temperature must be specified. There is no restriction which temperature you have to use, but it should be specified what you are using. So these are the 4 points that has to be taken care while reporting the standard state of a substance. So next we are coming to the reference state. What is reference state? So the reference state of an element is its most stable state at the specified temperature and 1 bar. So look into this. Here we are telling that this reference state is going to be the most stable state. This is the most stable state at the specified temperature. That means here also we are not restricting the temperature, but we are restricting the pressure to be 1 bar. So at 1 bar pressure and a specified temperature, what would be the most stable state of an element? That is called its a reference state. So here is an example. At a 298 Kelvin, the reference state of nitrogen is a gas of N2 molecules. That means at a 298 Kelvin, if you take the nitrogen, it will exist in the gaseous state. That is its most stable state at a 298 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure. And that of mercury is liquid. That means at a 298 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure, mercury is stable in the liquid state. Thereby, it is called its a reference state. Okay. So here it creates some dilemma. So people used to confuse what is the difference between reference state and standard state. So don't confuse. So I will elaborate on this with a simple example. You will better understand. The reference state of carbon at 25 degrees Celsius is the graphite. So the reference state of carbon at 25 degrees Celsius is the graphite. That is a thermodynamically stable state of carbon. But the standard state of carbon is any specified phase of the element at 1 bar pressure. So any specified phase, that means we know that carbon not only exists in graphite, so it can exist in graphite form, it can exist in diamond form, it can exist in fullerenes or any other substances also. In different forms, it can exist. So in which phase it is going to exist, you have to report. So in any of the states or in any of the phases, you can report the standard state of carbon, provided you are mentioning that. I already told that when you're representing the standard state of any substance, you have to report in which phase it is taken. But only graphite is to be taken when you're expressing the reference state of carbon. So that is the difference between, standard state and a reference state. So here is the list of different elements for which the reference state is mentioned against them. So look into this. The carbon, the reference state is graphite. Bromine, the reference state is the liquid. Hydrogen, reference state is gas. For nitrogen, it is gas. And for oxygen also it is gas. But iodine, its reference state is solid. That means it is going to be stable in the solid state at 298 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure. Mercury is a liquid. And phosphorus is white phosphorus. Of course, phosphorus exists in different forms, white phosphorus, black phosphorus, etc. In this, the white phosphorus is treated as a reference state. So why it is given in a different color here, I will tell you. One point is there to add here. So let me finish the remaining. Arsenic, gray arsenic is going to be its reference state. Sulfur, rhombic sulfur is the reference state. Tin, white tin or alpha tin is the reference state. Now come to this white phosphorus. So usually what we say is the reference state is nothing but the most stable state of that particular element for the given temperature at 1 bar. But interestingly, the reference state of phosphorus is taken to be white phosphorus despite this allotrope not being the most stable form, but simply the more reproducible form of the element. Means what is the fact? White phosphorus is not the most stable allotrope, most stable form of phosphorus, but still it is going to be referred as the reference state of phosphorus because it is more reproducible form of the element when compared with the remaining form of that. So this is the only one exception which is given for the assigning the reference states for the various elements. Just remember that. So the standard enthalpies of formation of elements in their reference states are 0 at all temperatures. Why? Because see, it is already in the reference state in the sense it is the most stable state. So it is not going to be produced from anything else. So that is the least energetic form and that is the most stable form. Am I right? So its formation from its own substance is going to be a null reaction. For example, if you want to prepare the nitrogen gas, the most stable form already is a nitrogen gas. So again, its formation from the self is going to be a null reaction. So for that reason, the standard enthalpies of formation of all the elements in the reference states are taken as 0 at all temperatures. So we know that how the standard enthalpy of formations, the symbol, it is going to be written here. So simply we'll write it like this. Standard enthalpy of formations. We'll write like that. Okay. So next, if you look into this carbon, we know that graphite is the most stable state. So from that, if you want to convert the diamond, so definitely it is going to be coming from most stable state to less stable state. Therefore, it is going to absorb energy. So here it is mentioned that standard enthalpy of formation of graphite is 0, but not for diamond. That means the standard enthalpy of formation of elements in their reference states only, it is equal to 0. But other than reference states, it is not equal to 0. They are having some values. For example, for diamond, you are having some value, 1.895 kilojoules per mole. Okay, only in the reference states it is to be taken as 0, not in other forms. So next one, the standard enthalpy of formation of ions in the solution. It is not that much easy. There is a problem because it is impossible to prepare a solution of cations alone or anions alone. You cannot have a solution in which only H plus ions are present or in which only Cl minus ions are present. You cannot isolate only cations and anions into a single solution. That is not possible. Because of that reason, it is not directly possible to measure the standard enthalpy of formation of ions in the solutions. So then is there any way to overcome this problem and to measure them? Yes, of course. By having an assumption, we can do that. What is that? This problem is solved by defining one ion conventionally, the hydrogen ion. So conventionally, we are going to take that hydrogen ion as a reference. And what we are doing, we are assuming its value to have 0. So standard enthalpy of formation at all temperature for hydrogen ion is assumed to be 0. Getting my point here? So this is not an experimentally determined value. This is assumed conventionally to measure the standard enthalpy of formation of remaining ions. So we need some comparison reference. For that, we have taken hydrogen ion to have this reference. So hydrogen ion enthalpy, standard enthalpy of formation at all temperatures is assumed to be 0. So that is what I'm going to represent it here. So this is the important point that you can remember. So standard enthalpy of formation of H plus ion in the aqueous solution is equal to 0. This is an assumption. Now, from this one, we can identify remaining ions standard enthalpy of formation. For example, I'm going to identify what is the standard enthalpy of formation of Br minus. I want to know this one. For that, what I have done is I have identified experimentally this one. So this is experimentally calculated. So standard enthalpy of formation of HBr in the aqueous medium can be calculated experimentally. And this value already we have assumed it to be 0. Now this experimental value, if you put in this equation, then obviously that will be equal to, it's a standard enthalpy of formation of Br minus. So these two are going to be equal. So whatever the standard enthalpy of formation for HBr aqueous is present, which is determined experimentally, the same is going to be adopted for standard enthalpy of formation of Br minus. This is possible because you have assumed that standard enthalpy of formation of H plus ions in aqueous medium is 0. Because of this assumption only, you can equate these two. That is the advantage of this assumption. Now you have calculated for Br minus. Now by using this Br minus, you can identify the standard enthalpy of formation of some other ion. Example, I have taken AgBr. Again, this is going to be experimentally identified, and this value already, Br minus value, you have already identified from equation 1, that you can substitute here. Then what you're going to get here is this Ag plus ion is how much, and that you can identify. So this is experimentally determined. This is obtained from equation 1, and thereby this allows you to calculate the standard enthalpy of formation of Ag plus. Like this, if you keep on correlating the different kind of substances which are having common ions, thereby you can produce almost the standard enthalpy of formation of ions, almost all the ions you can calculate. Okay, so this is the importance of this assumption which is made. So this is about the difference between standard state and reference state with examples, and what is the importance of reference state in the enthalpies, that is standard enthalpies of formation. So I hope everyone understood the difference between. If any doubts are there, so please write in the comment section such that I can reply. So thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for watching.